I guess because you can hit things with sticks and you don't get in trouble. No, no, it's I don't know. It's just something that always appealed to me. Just doing a rhythm and you're thinking two sticks and you're using your feet and some of the crazy things you can do.
All right, this is KMKanDrum here with another Q&A with KMKanDrum. Today I have Tom Counts. Tom Counts. Tom, how you doing, man?
Doing good, boss. Doing good.
Yeah, I see the
Yeah.
acoustic set behind you. It's a PDP. That's cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. You still got my snare drum?
Yes, it's sitting over there.
All right.
Can you Oh yeah, you can kind of see it just a little bit.
That's the one you picked up at the NAMM show, right?
Yeah, it's a beauty. I
That's
think I've used since I got it, I've used my Black Beauty only once. So yeah, it's been up there. It's workhorse. But yeah, so let's get started with this interview. For those of you that don't know my format, I start with some drum related questions, and then I move on to some job related questions. So I'm going to be seeing if Tom is good for my company, and then I'm going to ask some speed dating related questions, which Tom told me off the air that he's been married for over 30 years. So this will be a nice fresh set of questions that he'll have to answer that he hasn't answered probably in a very long time. Um, but yeah, so let's get into it. First of all, when did you start playing drums?
I started playing drums when I was around 14 years old. Um, and the reason I got into it, um, some guys in the neighborhood, older guys, they like Kiss. So I was strictly country music up to them because my dad's influence. And what broke me from that was we did a trip. We used to go to my grandparents every year in Virginia. It's about 5 hours away. And we listened to a Charlie Pride 8-track tape. My dad had one tape all the way up, all the way back. And I knew when the songs would stop and go to the next track. And that just completely blew me away on country music. I didn't want to hear no more country for the rest of my life at that point. But I've grown in my musical taste and all that. But some of my friends like Kiss, and I got introduced to that, and then watching Peter Criss play the drums and stuff. I mean, and Peter Criss is a good drummer, but he put on a show, and I enjoyed that. And that's when I started playing drums, and got a little cheap kit for Christmas that year, and got a real kit because my parents wanted to see if the cheap kit was going to, stick. Then I got it was a Royce. That's one of a Pearl knockoff. Got that, and then another friend of mine that we've been friends since we were about 8. He had a guitar, and we started getting together and playing some Beatles stuff, and it progressed from there. Went to a Beatles band, and then when I got up a little bit higher in high school, I got burned out on Beatles and wanted to start playing some heavier stuff, and all the way up till I got married, and then the drums went away for 27 years. This used to be my drum room when I first moved in 1985, and I had a double bass set. PA system, and then when my wife got pregnant, the drums went away, and this became my son's nursery. So, and then after he grew up and moved away, and one year my wife and I were over at Marshall's, and there's a Guitar Center next to the Marshall's, and I said, I'm gonna step in Guitar Center and see what they have over here. And they had some E-kits set up. You could sit down and play them. And I came out of Marshall. Guitar Center. I said, I wouldn't mind having one of those. And she bought me my first E-kit, which was that Alesis DM6. And then I got the Command kit a couple years later. And then when I retired last year from Goodyear, I bought the PDP. So that's a little bit of the history of it. So I got started playing when I was 14. and then gave it a break. Like, I mean, I think there's a lot of the guys in our drum community have done the same thing, have took breaks, from playing for a while.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, for those of you that haven't checked out Tom's channel, go ahead and check it out. Subscribe. He's got some really cool. His channel is cool because he's got both the electric and the acoustic going on. Um, what are some of your, because I know you do a lot of, your channel has a lot more of the harder stuff. What are some of your like all-time favorite covers that you've done?
Uh, I just attempted, I just attempted to do YYZ a few months ago. Uh, I was pleased with that, and I just did a Mammoth "Don't Back Down." I did that with an E kit a couple years ago, and then I redid it. Matter of fact, this past week with the acoustic. I got a new mixer board, and I'm still trying to figure that thing out. That's before I didn't have to worry about all that stuff. I just plugged in the module, and everything went through the module. So yeah, those are two of my favorites. And well, I'll tell you, taking time off, there's a lot of rust because your brain knows what to do, then your hands and your feet just completely go south. So yeah, I'd say "Don't Back Down" is one of my favorites that I just did, and YYZ, I did that a few months ago, and on the E kit, uh, I did 2 minutes to midnight when Jay used to have the musician. Your Jay had that he do on the weekends. So when he had that, he actually put that up on his channel. So that was one of my favorites too. But I like just about everything now. So, but there's a couple of my favorites.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I remember when you first got your kit, you didn't really have the microphone set up. What mics are you using on the
Well,
kit?
actually, I picked up a cheap set of drum mics off of Amazon.
Oh, okay.
It's got 5 mics for the snare, the racks, the floor tom, and the bass, and it's got 2 overheads. It's nothing expensive. It was just I think I paid maybe $100 for it.
Nice.
So it's I mean it's not the good stuff, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Cool, man. Let's see what I was some of these questions are like for you at least, it's obvious. Double pedal or single pedal? You're obviously a double pedal guy, right?
No, man, single.
Really?
Yeah,
Ah, well, good
yeah.
thing I asked.
I've never played. Well, I played double pedal at one time. Uh, it it just didn't stick for some reason. I just I started out single pedal, and when I bought a second bass drum years ago, I got decent at doing some things, but as far as some stuff people do nowadays, there's no way in the world my feet could cooperate like that. But yeah, I tried it, but it didn't. It really didn't stick. But
Ah,
you know, I play Speed King. I played Speed King years ago, and I got a reissued Speed King, and I use it. So I learned how to double kick actually from some guys at school in high school. Uh, I thought I was good until these guys got behind my kit and they started double kick. I was like, man, how in the world are you doing that? So,
yeah.
we didn't have YouTube back then because I graduated high school in 1980. So we didn't have YouTube and all that stuff. I had to learn from other people.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, I learned a lot of stuff watching other people, and they're showing me how to do different things. And since YouTube, man, that's just crazy. I mean, you can do a drum lesson just watching YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was just talking to Eric Henninger from Drum Attic last week, and we were saying the same thing. When we were growing up, no YouTube. We just had to learn from Modern Drummer or some of those VHS tapes that they would put out, like Dave Weckl or Chad Smith was a big one. But yeah, there was no YouTube, and now it seems like you don't have to go anywhere. You could just sit in your room and learn how to play the drums.
Hey, you go. Well, you went back a ways. VHS tapes. I don't know if a lot of kids nowadays know what a VHS tape is.
Yeah, no kidding,
Yeah,
no kidding. Okay, well, how about let's see. Do you do a wood tip or nylon tip sticks?
I got some of both. It just depends on the sound I want to get. You know, the nylon tip, I like the way it hits the cymbals. Uh, the wood tip seems to give it a little bit more of a toned down sound and a little bit deeper hit on the toms. But it just depends on what I feel like playing at the moment. So,
And then do you switch it up on the E kit or do you use one in particular?
well, the E kit, I don't know if you can see it. The rack's over there in the corner. It kind of got broke down. Uh, so I got actually. Let me see here. Let me take this off. I got this big TV stand that I put cords and all that stuff in, and the majority of my E kits in there.
Ah,
So yeah, I broke it down, and after I redid my room, I'll give you a little tour.
nice.
I did some acoustic treating on it, and just made it my little man cave. And well, there's
Yeah.
that right there is perfect if you got back trouble.
Oh yeah, the
That
teeter or something or whatever.
yes, sir. That thing is outstanding. So yeah, I did the acoustic treating and all that stuff. Then kind of broke down the E kit. I haven't played it probably in a couple months. So yeah, so I got intention of setting it back up, but I got to find some room. I don't have a great big bedroom, so that I'm using.
Yeah, I love the posters that you got up there. Really cool.
Yeah, a couple of them I got. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they go to a lot of shows. They have a lot of concerts in Raleigh and Durham around here, and Greensboro and Charlotte. But the one I'm most proud of, I got to see that show right there. The Who
Oh,
the Who in 2015. That was their 50th anniversary tour. So
who was drumming for them?
uh Starkey, what's
Okay.
Ringo's son?
Yeah, Zach Starkey, I think.
Yeah, Zach can play, man. He had a acrylic set of Ludwigs. That was man, that was a beautiful set.
Awesome. Wow. Very cool. Um, okay, yeah, I asked this one pretty much to everybody. Why drums? I think you kind of touched up on it, but is there anything deeper than why you started? Is there anything deeper as to why you still play and is it a part of your personality? Kind of talk
Probably,
about why you play the drums.
I don't know. I guess because you can hit things with sticks and you don't get in trouble. No, no, it's I don't know. It's just something that always appealed to me. Just doing a rhythm and you're thinking two sticks and you're using your feet and some of the crazy things you can do percussion wise. I mean, it's amazing what God gave us a gift, man. That's the truth. And you know, it's just awesome what you can do hitting sticks on a round piece of wood with the skin over top of it and cymbals and just I mean you can make music with it. And I started out playing the trumpet actually.
Oh,
They brought band programs into school when I was in sixth grade. And I started playing the trumpet. And then when I got to high school, yeah, I'd already started messing with the drums and playing then. They didn't have a jazz drummer for the jazz band. I'd never read drum sheet music, anything of that nature. I could read the trumpet, and then the guy that I played guitar, and he played guitar and our little Beatles thing. He said, "Well, Tom can play the drums," and I'm like, "Oh, here we go." And then I had to learn how to sight read and all that other stuff. But it was fun getting in with the jazz band and playing that stuff, man. That's just something that stuck with me this day. I just like the energy of playing the drums, and I'd love to learn how to play guitar or something like that, but I don't think my fingers would cooperate with arthritis and all that over the years after working at Goodyear for 41. But it's just I just like the energy of playing the drums. Just always have. And usually the drummer's the craziest one of the band anyways.
Yeah, well, I pretty much started the same way. I was in jazz band, had to learn how to sight read and all that. And from experience, I know that if you don't use it, you lose it. So has it been a while since you've sight read or read any music?
Yes, yes. Uh, and you know what I find crazy when Guitar Hero and all that come out? It's similar to sight reading because your hi-hat part's over here, then your kick is your line, and then your snare, but it's not like translating it to a paid sheet music. And I've over the last year or so, I've looked at some sheet music because I want to see if I can still read it. But as far as like Ash plays everything sheet music. I mean, and even Joey Clark, when he does a cover, he has the sheet music right there in front of him. I guess that's as a go-to. And I play mainly by ear. And I have looked at sheet music to see, okay, what do I do here? And I look at the sheet music, not that I necessarily understood everything, but I could understand the time transition or whatever was going on. But yeah, like you said, it's something, if you don't use it, you definitely lose it. Cause that's, I could pick up a trumpet now and there's no way I could make any kind of noise out of it. I know what the notes are, but as far as, as far as reading it, nah. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I know what to look at drums, but it's as far as using that strictly to play music, I'd be in bad shape.
Yep, so would I, man. Okay, well, last question. It's kind of more of a fun question. If you could play on any one famous drummer's kit, whose would it be?
Neil Peart.
Very
Neil Peart.
straightforward, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've always loved Neil Peart, man. That guy there was just phenomenal. I mean, but that was standard when I was growing up. He was the man. I mean, that was and Bonzo. I love Bonzo stuff, but Neil had so much more stuff to throw his sticks at. Yeah, he always had a cool looking kit. Yeah.
Okay, so would you play his old Ludwig kit or would you play the DWs?
Oh, I love the new DW. I like both of them, but the DW, man, that's yeah. Man, I'd love to get behind that thing. I don't know if I could do a whole lot with it, but I'd love to get behind
it. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to the next section, which is some job related questions. So I'll be the person hiring you or wanting to hire you. So I'm going to
Okay.
ask you some questions on your work ethic and all of that stuff. What are your strengths?
I come to work on time.
It's a good one.
I take my job seriously. I don't miss days. And I'm always open to learn. So whatever you want me to do, you're going to get 100%.
Wow. I mean, just by how the whole culture is nowadays, I think I would hire you just from that one question alone. What are your weaknesses?
I can be a little hard headed. And yeah, once I got my mind set on something, it usually takes a little prying to get open to new ideas. I did Goodyear, man, good grief. I did management for 25 years. I built tires for 15. I worked in sorting labeling for 1 year. So when I went to management, I had a pretty good foundation, but I get set in my routine. And when my routine gets changed up, I guess they call it OCD now. But when they want to introduce new things, or this is this is the greatest thing since sliced bread because I read it in a book. They get pushback from me, and sometimes my pushback was warranted, and sometimes it's just me resistant to change. But once I get started doing something, I can fall in line. I mean, I'm not rebellious or anything, but yeah, little bit resistant to change, uh, especially getting older with computerized stuff. And
Yeah.
but I am willing to learn. But I'm a little hard headed, so that's probably one of my weaknesses, being a little hard headed.
All right. Well, I know that you are happily retired, but where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully, still above the right side of the dirt, and happily retired. Yeah, I haven't drove my wife crazy yet, so I just started playing in a band. Some
Nice.
Yeah, one of the guys that I played with years ago. We just started rehearsing a few months ago. We're actually going to Surf City. We got a gig in Surf City July the 15th. So that's about 90 miles from here down at the beach. And first gig. So I'm looking forward to getting in front of people and playing again, just on a small scale type thing.
Cool.
But
Is it covers or originals?
yeah, covers right now.
Okay.
But yeah, we do have some originals that we haven't. We're going to start out with the covers, and just kind of get a little bit of a following and go from there. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's hopefully in 5 more years, I'm still playing music, and yeah, I don't see myself ever working again,
Yeah.
because I did 41 years out of Goodyear. So I started 3 months for my 19th birthday. So, and I did a long time out at that factory. I miss the people. I really do. I just don't miss the factory.
Yeah.
Met some good folks over the years. Goodyear took good care of me. That's a little plug for Goodyear. They did take good care of me.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. How about any traveling? Are you have any travel plans or anything like that?
No, no. My wife's sister and her husband have a place at Myrtle Beach. So I mean, I'm sure we're going to go down to Myrtle Beach a few times. We usually go a couple times a year. As far as traveling, I don't see us getting in an RV and doing a cross country type thing or anything like that. Do have a couple brothers in Texas, so we might. I know my older brother that lives in Plano. He wants my wife and I to come down for his church's Christmas thing this year. But as far as now, we've never really been the traveling type. I think the farthest I've been away from here is Hawaii on my honeymoon.
Oh, nice.
And then we did go to California a few times. My brother was in Nevada, so just north of San Francisco. So we went out there a couple times. So
What island on Hawaii?
Oahu,
Okay.
yeah, we did Oahu. So yeah, stayed. Well, they call it 8 days and 7 nights, but the day you fly in, you're so jet lagged from the East Coast. You're in bed at 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. So
Yeah.
it was a blast. I had a good time out there.
Yeah, it's cool. So you're in North Carolina. Are you where are you in North Carolina?
I'm in Fayetteville. Uh, Probably about 4 hours from where Eric's from. He's in the mountains. So Fayetteville is 90 miles from the coast. Um, it's we call it the Sand Hills. So it's where Fort Bragg Polk Air Force Base was. Well, Fort Bragg's still there. They just changed the name to Fort Liberty, and Pope is part of the Army Airfield now. We're 60 miles from the capital of Raleigh. We're 2 hours from Charlotte, hour and a half from Greensboro. So yeah, we're not quite in the middle. North Carolina is a long state going from east to west, but not so much north to south. But yeah, then you got uh what is his name? Ron from the drum channel. He lives out in the mountains. He's about 6 hours or so away from me.
Oh,
Eric's
cool.
Eric's I think 4 hours, and Ron's 6 hours. He's out toward close to Tennessee. Yeah.
You watching any hockey at all?
No. No.
Well,
No.
that's good. It's good because
I'm a I do pull for the Hurricanes. I don't know if they're still in it or not.
no, they lost last night.
Who'd they lose to?
The Florida Panthers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're out of it.
They've been good making the playoffs, but after they won the Stanley Cup back in the early 2000s, they haven't really been back. So,
Yeah.
all right, who's your team?
Well, my team's the LA Kings, and they got ousted by Edmonton this year, so my team's out. Um, but I really like this Florida team that the Hurricanes played. They remind me of the Kings when they won the Stanley Cup in 2012. One of those low seeded teams that are beating all the high seeded teams, so they're kind of like an underdog. Um, so yeah, I was watching the game last night, and uh, yeah, the Florida was up 3-0 in the series, and I was kind of hoping for a good series because every game it was like really close, but Florida just ended up sweeping them out. So yeah, maybe it's a good thing you weren't you weren't watching.
Yeah, I do like hockey. I mean, it's just not on my regular watch list. I watch a lot of Bravo since my since my home with my wife's
Yeah,
TV.
I get that. What my wife watches the Investigation Discovery
Oh
channel.
yeah, ID channel. Yeah, there's some good stuff on that, man.
Yeah, yeah, she's one of those crime she likes all the crime stuff. I
So
think
how did you end up in Pennsylvania from California, man?
so yeah, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I did live 2 years in Houston for a little bit. Went back to LA. Met my wife in 2009, and she's a fashion designer. So in 2013, a company from New York reached out to her, and I had never thought to move away from LA. You know, my whole life was music and the LA scene and whatnot. But then we went out there just to see what it was all about. And I've been to New York before on a tour, and it was fine, but just something about the trip that we went on with my wife. She was just well, we were still dating at the time, and yeah, I was just like, yeah, I think I might be ready for a change. So we moved to New York City in 2013. I started working out there in East New York, which is a pretty rough part of Brooklyn, and we were there for about 3 years, and then Urban Outfitters, which is based in Philadelphia, reached out to her, and that was kind of like one of her dream jobs was to work at Urban Outfitters. So we went down there, checked it out, and Philly is kind of like a marriage, but like it's like if New York and LA had a baby.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so it was almost like a perfect fit. And plus, uh, the cost of living in Philly compared to New York City was, I mean, it was just a no brainer. So yeah, we just moved into Fishtown in Philly. We were there for about 3 years, and then COVID hit, and along with COVID was all of those riots that were going on, and Fishtown, where we lived, was literally the town south of Kensington. And if you know anything about Philly, if you look up on YouTube, Kensington, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's like it's like zombie city. There's people on meth. It's just like it looks like a zombie
Wow.
apocalypse. And that was like a couple of blocks away from our house. And we had our first kid in 2019. So in 2020, when all that stuff was going on, she was 1 years old, and we were like, we gotta get out of here. So we moved to Media, which is southwest of Philly, about 20 or 30 minutes or so. And yeah, I have this like awesome basement, set up all the drums and whatnot, and we like it a lot. We don't want to move back to California. We probably don't want to move back to New York. We're good here. If she can keep her job, because I could do what I do from anywhere. I work from home.
Oh,
So
okay.
so yeah, so if she can stay at Urban Outfitters, we see ourselves staying here, forever.
That's great. I had an uncle that lived in not Philadelphia, but he lived in Pennsylvania and Amish country. He had a dairy farm.
Oh wow, cool.
So
Yeah.
I have been to Lancaster County, but that's as far as I've been to. Yeah, we went up there a couple times to visit my uncle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lancaster is about an hour and a half away. We have a right where because we're kind of in the burbs now, a little bit away from Philly, and there's a lot of Amish markets and stuff out there. That's where we get most of our groceries is from the Amish, and it's just like it's the quality is, I mean, probably the best that I've ever had as far as
Mhm.
food, especially like chicken. You can taste the difference between regular store bought chicken and Amish chicken. It's amazing.
That's true free range chicken.
Yeah, it totally is. It really is. It's and you can taste the difference. Um so yeah, that's my story
That's
is
that's
how
good, man.
we're
That's great.
we got stuck in PA, which I love because it's weird. I don't- it's they it's not a state, it's a commonwealth.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what the difference is, but yeah, it's a lot more I guess free than California is as far as like liberties and stuff like that, things that you can
Right.
do and whatnot. So yeah, we just love it. It's a great place to raise kids. I got a 4-year old and a 1-year old, and um, yeah, they love it here. We got a
That's great.
nice house and a pool and all that. They're in the pool all the time. So yeah, we're just we're living the American dream.
Little cooler there than it is in California, though, right?
Yeah, but this last winter we didn't get any snow at all. Usually uh we'll get between 2 and 3 flurries, and usually it sticks for a good 3 or 4 days or so. But yeah, we didn't get any snow this past winter. I mean, it was still pretty cold. It just there wasn't any precipitation. You guys get snow too, right?
Yeah, once every year or two. We don't get a whole lot of snow down here. Yeah, we're susceptible to hurricanes and all that good stuff. So every time hurricane season comes around, it's everybody's on edge. So even
Yeah.
though we're 90 miles inland, we've still got popped hard a few times. So it's yeah, we get snow every once in a while. If we get a good one, it shuts everything
I
down.
bet.
People in the south, excuse me, people in the south don't know how to drive this type of weather. That type of weather gets bad, you stay off the road.
Yeah, I was, when I was in Houston, it was in 2000 and between 2004 and 2006 and 2005 that winter. It snowed in Houston for the first time in like I think it was like 150 years. And yeah, the whole city was shut down. But yeah, oh, I wanted to ask you one more question from the job related questions. Um, do you have in life, maybe it's in work or just in life in general, do you have any mentors or anybody that um went out of their way to help you get to a certain place in your life that you wanted to get to?
Uh, I look back at first my high school football coach, uh, John Daskell, and there were times I thought he was being hard on me, but he said when I when I quit getting on to you, it means I give up on you. And And I realized at that time that a lot of people, you may feel like are being hard on you, but they're preparing you for life, because life is not easy. And I had a couple good area, we call them area managers, is nothing more than a supervisor, but I had some good supervisors, and I had one in particular. His name was Walter Hill. He just passed away this past summer, but he was one that took the time. He talked to me. He could bring me down off a ledge, and he told me one time. He said, "You know, you're wasting your talent staying in production. You need to pursue moving up, man." I didn't want to, because I knew what came with it, but he was right. And I blame him every time I get frustrated. But yeah, Water was a good guy. He was a really good guy. Miss him dearly. You know, when we have things going on, especially around the church, I make sure I invited him. When I was ordained as a minister, I invited him to my ordination, and yeah, Water was a good folk. I'll see him again. But yeah, he was one that really sticks out, because he would push me to be my best, and he would talk me off a ledge, and talk some sense into me. He knew how to communicate like that with everybody. But Water was a good guy.
Awesome. What a great story. Yeah, I can relate to your transition from production to management. My wife was in the same situation where she was a fashion designer, designing all the clothes, and then had to make the transition into management to where she's managing the people that are designing all the clothes. So yeah, I know that transition is not an easy one, because you have to give up the production side of things, the things that you know you're so good at. And that's not an easy thing for a lot of people. It wasn't easy for my wife. It wasn't easy to give up that control. But once she did, she realized that, when you're in the production side of things, or when you're in the design side of things, you're really just the tools of
Right.
the people that are managing you, whether it be another client, whether it be an actual manager, whatever the case is. So the real work, and that's why managers get paid a lot more money, is because you're a puppeteer. You're pulling strings. You're doing a lot of things that um, the people below you, they don't even have any concept of what's going on. As a design, because I'm a graphic designer, I also know, like, I think when I design for myself, I think I'm this great designer and whatnot. And then when I actually have to design for a client, I'll design something and they'll come back and they'll say, "Oh, that looks great, but let's try this and let's try that." And you're at the mercy of the client, of the customer.
Yeah.
So you're just basically another tool. So yeah, it's a hard thing to, but once you get into the management side and that becomes your thing, then you start to realize that, yeah, it's a there's a reason why it's a higher level.
Yeah, and a factory, it's kind of like a military structure. You have your troops; those are the ones you're in charge of. You have an area. You're responsible for. Number one's always going to be safety, and then your quality, your production, and then you have to do minor discipline, and then you got the upper management looking down on you. And then I always worked nights, and you always had the Monday morning quarterbacks come in about 5 o'clock in the morning and second guess what you did all night. So I was in the middle, but since I had been on that floor level, I knew what it was like. You're not a machine. You're a human being, and sometimes human beings are going to have bad days. They're going to have off days. Stuff happens in life that you're going to. There's going to be reasons that you can't leave everything at the door when you walk into the workplace. You got 132 jobs, and being a counselor and disciplinarian and kind of like a mom.
Yeah.
Moms have 432 jobs. They only get paid for one.
Yeah. Totally, totally. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I I just love doing these interviews because I know it's for a drum audience. You know, you and I are both drummers. Uh, Probably 99.9% of the people that watch this are probably drummers as well. But I think we've probably talked about drums maybe 10% of this whole conversation. And that's what I love is being able to um, kind of get to know the person behind the drummer. And hopefully that this interview and all the interviews that I do kind of does that to where, because anyone can go on your channel, watch you play the drums, and that's what you're all about. But they don't really know the person, so it's just I'm just glad that you're able to come on and us have a little chat and get to know each other and stuff because we've been on a WhatsApp chat for a long time,
Oh yeah.
and you can kind of get the gist of everybody that's on that group chat, but there's nothing like a one-on-one, and um, this is even better because it's a one-on-one, but then all the people that will be watching it will also be able to kind of get to know you better. So thanks for being on, and I'm gonna go to this fun section of questions, which is this speed dating question. So yeah, it might be a little awkward because it's a guy asking you these questions, but just go with it. It'll be fun.
Okay, I got you.
Alrighty. First thing, I mean, I can probably guess, but because of the first question I asked I totally got wrong. I'm not gonna assume, but are you a meat eater or a vegetarian?
I'm a meat eater.
What's your favorite meat dish?
Steak.
Uh,
Steak.
And what's your
Yeah.
favorite steak?
Ribeye.
Ribeye. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Same here. Same here. Talking about the Amish market, I go to the Amish market for my meat, and I would always get ribeyes, but they have in the back of the freezer, right, or not the freezer, but the cooler, they have these little cuts called New York strip ends,
Oh yeah, I like strip too.
and they're for whatever reason they're cheaper. They're the same size as the New Yorks, but they have more marbling, so they're almost like a ribeye, and the ribeye is more expensive than the regular New York. So
Right.
I'm getting the New York strip ends, which are almost like a ribeye for almost, I would say, two-thirds of the price of a ribeye. So those Amish, man, they just know what they're doing, and it's just amazing. And we have steak every Friday. I make it a point to have a steak dinner every
My
Friday.
man, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, cool. Okay, great. Yeah, I love the meat eaters. Something about them is just we're a different breed. I
Well,
growing,
I don't know if you saw on Facebook. I put up a kind of a smart aleck picture. It's a deer, and it says, "Hey vegetarians, my food poops on your food." So
nice. Yeah, I mean, growing up in LA, I was I was a vegan for a while, and I knew a bunch of vegans and vegetarians, and um, yeah, that life is way past. Okay, so do you like to give or get massages?
probably give. Yeah, because well, I'm gonna tell you a story. So my wife and I went out to Nevada, and right up around wine country. We went out and visited my brother and his wife at the time. So we did a tour out in wine country, and my brother had set up these massages. So you go in, you do the spring water, the mud, and all that stuff. Then you get massage. It was a little uncomfortable getting massage, so I think I would rather give one.
All
But yeah,
right.
my wife backed off on that. Then we did wine tasting afterward. And that's I used to do. I used to drink a little bit, but I haven't. haven't drank in the last 30 plus years, but we we did a wine tasting after the massages, and that was it. Lights out, game over. But yeah, I'd rather give the massage.
That's a good speed dating answer because that shows you're more of a giver than a receiver. Okay, baths or showers?
Showers.
Yeah,
Always.
I don't think I've asked one guy who's answered a bath.
Now I will do the hot tub at the gym. So, but I'm not cleaning myself off in there. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a shower guy for sure.
Cool. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
You have any dogs?
Yeah, I have two of them. Two rescues. One was my mom's. When my mom got bad off and ended up in assisted living, my wife and I took her dog, and then we have one that we adopted. He was a surrender. That's Oscar. You've probably seen him on my videos. He's a mess. But yeah, he's part. They said he was part Pekingese and part Chihuahua. I'm thinking he's more chug Chihuahua. You know, they call them chugs.
Yeah.
And same thing with the female, but they are the best of friends. And they yeah, I love my little dogs. I've had boxers before. The only thing about boxers, they're not long-lived dogs. So I've had a couple boxers, and then we had except for those two, the two boxers we had, every one of our dogs have been a rescue. So yeah, love my dogs. My son has cats. He lives a couple hundred yards up the street.
Nice.
He's got a couple cats, but his cats greet me like a dog would. So I'm turning them into dogs.
Well, those kind of cats, yeah. That's cool. All right. Coffee or tea?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, I like see I learned to like coffee when I was working nights. So I worked nights for over 30 years. I didn't put anything in my coffee. So it was straight out the pot. And my wife, she makes a mean pot of sweet tea. So, and unsweet tea. So yeah, it's always been coffee and tea. That's Southern staple, man. Sweet tea.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke products. Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. That's I asked Eric that, and he was a Coke guy. I'm a Coke guy. Cool. A lot in common. We're all drummers too. Favorite food?
I got to go back to steak. That's
Back
my
to
favorite.
steak.
Yeah.
Awesome. Favorite movie?
Well, since I've seen Rocky about 459 times, I probably Rocky.
What I
Yeah.
mean, you got to come up here and pay a visit then.
Yeah, man. They took the statue down though, right?
No, it's still there. It's still
They
there.
still got it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocky. I don't know, man. I saw Rocky when I was, it first came out. I think I was 14 when it came out. And buddy of mine that, I live in the same neighborhood I grew up in. But a buddy of mine that it's probably about four houses over now. We used to have a theater right up the street. We go up there and see movies, and yeah, we went saw Rocky when it first came out. But that one stuck with me for some reason. I hear that music, man. That's like my wife and I had to go to Chapel Hill. She had an appointment with her gastrology specialist. So on the way to Chapel Hill, we'll listen to the 70s on 7 on Sirius, and then Bill Conti comes on. The Bill Conti Rocky theme comes on. I said, I'm pumped now. Rocky's on.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't just have a speaker just blasting that song at the art museum steps. Because I mean, my mom was in town a couple of weeks or about a month ago, and yeah, her and her boyfriend came. Her boyfriend wanted to go see the Rocky Steps, so we went. And I mean, everybody that was at the museum was going up and down the steps and taping it with their phones and whatnot. And there's a long line to take a picture of a selfie with the Rocky statue and whatnot. So yeah, it's a thing. I mean, you if you're a fan of Rocky, you need to come out here and do that, and then take a detour over to KMKanDrum Studios.
Come hang out with you for a minute.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's see. Oh, okay. This is a good question. If you could invite anyone, dead or alive, to dinner, who would it be?
Oh man, that's a good question. Obviously, Jesus is my first answer,
Yep.
but he's not dead; he's alive. Uh, Let me think of who I would. I would love to pick Neil Peart's brain.
Okay. Yeah.
I would love to pick his brain.
What would you ask him?
Just what got him started playing drums. I mean, the guy, he was well read. He rode everywhere on a motorcycle. I mean, I just like to pick his brain and see what's going on in there.
Yeah,
He's a little he was a little eccentric, but I got older brothers like that too. My oldest brother, he's a little eccentric, but I'd like to pick his brain and see what was going on in there.
yeah. He's definitely the eccentric type. He seems like kind of like a, I don't know if free spirit is the right word, but just like definitely just march to his own beat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good one. I like that. Um, oh, how would your best friend describe you?
My best friend's my wife, so I'm not going to use some of the words she uses to. uh, I'm loyal. Uh, uh, once you have me for a friend, I'm like a big old lap dog. I mean, I'm with you. You know, I hate to use the term ride or die because that's thrown around so much, but I got you back, and ain't nothing I won't do for you, help you out. I mean, I guess loyal you know, could be the word.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people that I met in Houston are kind of the same way. I was lucky enough to be in a band my short time there, and I still talk to those guys. It's been almost 20 years now,
Wow.
and yeah, so something about the South, that meant that whole mentality, which kind of seeps out into the Midwest and all that stuff. But yeah, just different breed of people than the coasts. Um,
I like long walks on the beach. Nothing.
uh, do you laugh at fart jokes?
Yes. Who doesn't?
Right? I mean, that's my wife's, her, that's like her whole humor is just fart jokes.
I grew up in the '60s and the '70s. Of course, I laugh at those.
Awesome. What's your biggest pet peeve?
That's a tough one. Somebody who lies to you. That's dishonesty.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my biggest right there.
Yep. I same with me. I mean, there's been times where, people have been dishonest, and the level of dishonesty, you could scale it up and down, but there's been people who have been pretty bad dishonest, and it's just not in me. I look at the situation and I'm like, how could somebody do that? Like pretend to be your friend, lie to you bold faced, and
Stick in the back. The
yeah,
same. I had an experience like that with and I'm not going to mention any names, but it was a kid that he built tires for me. He wanted to learn management, uh, and I saw an opportunity to help get him going. Of course, there was a little bit of an ulterior motive because since I pastor a small church, you know, I could get Sundays off every once in a while because we worked every other weekend. He moved up the ladder and he was one of the ones that tried to geek me in the back, but I've forgiven him. Uh, but yes, that type of stuff right there, it just never has set right with me.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. Um, so I'm gonna ask this question, and I know you already mentioned that you had a football coach, but do you play any sports, or have you ever played any sports?
Played football in high school. Uh, Wanted to play college ball, but there wasn't much need for a 5'9", 215-pound lineman in college because once you get to college, them kids are big. Uh, I did play league basketball and league softball out at Goodyear several years. Uh, I've been lifting weights off and on since I was 15. I started again 2 months ago, and I've always enjoyed lifting. So, you know, it's the lifting part, yeah, the nutrition part, nah, not so much. I've I've never been one to follow the strict diet and try to. I just want to stay in some type of shape, you know, because too many people I know have retired and then within a year after retiring they've died. So
Oh wow.
and when I retired, I gained 25 pounds, and I said I got to do something here. So I started watching my my calories because I was indulging for about 7 months after I retired. I mean, I blew up like a balloon, but I've lost all the weight I gained since I retired, and I'm just working on staying in shape, staying more.
Awesome. Have
I
you
am a
ever
I am a senior citizen. I'll
I
be 61 in August.
mean barely senior citizen.
Hey, I got my first discount a couple months ago.
Nice.
Yeah, we took my mother-in-law to Golden Corral.
Oh,
I
cool.
got my senior discount.
Yeah, I used to go to Golden Corral back in Houston. That's a cool place. Um, do you know, have you ever talked to um at all in general, but specifically about lifting and diet and stuff? Have you ever talked to Steve Osborne?
No, Steve, you know, this is I'll tell you how small of a world this is. Steve Osborne went to the same high school I did.
Really?
His parents were stationed out at Fort Bragg. Now he was in the Marine Corps, but his parents were stationed at Fort Bragg. He went to Reed Ross right after I graduated, and we had a drill team, uh, rifle drill team. He was on that rifle drill team. Yeah, Steve's a cool cat, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we went to the same school.
that's
Sure
awesome. Yeah,
did, same school.
yeah. I did an interview with him, and he started talking a little bit about his lifting and entering into contests and whatnot. And I think his like philosophy on it is backwards. Like he wants to lift to be able to eat something along that. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, you should talk to him about lifting and eating. Maybe he could share stories with you.
Yeah, a lot of people that get into competitions like that, bodybuilders eat 4 or 5 times a day at least, and they're not eating giant meals each time, but they're really putting on the calories that way they can bulk up. And then when they go to competition, they are starving themselves to death and dehydrating themselves. So actually, when they look the strongest, they're at their weakest. So it taxes the body. It really does. I know one. She's a professional bodybuilder at the gym I go to, and that was her goal the whole time. She wanted to get her pro card, and she got her pro card. But it's unless you're one of the top people, you're not going to make a whole lot of money at it. It's like MMA fighting. Unless you're one of the top guys, you're not or top gals, you're not going to make a whole lot of money at it. Bowling, pro bowling, they don't make any money. I mean, unless you get sponsors and all that stuff, it's like anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bodybuilding thing, I've read up on it, watched videos on it, and I just concentrate on staying halfway strong, because I got surgically repaired shoulder and bone spurs in my neck and my left shoulder, so I can't go real heavy anymore. But I just yeah, all that nutrition stuff. These guys do some crazy stuff, man. They really do, and
Yeah.
especially competition time. That's when they're really draining, taxing their bodies. It's wild. It is. I mean, there's a whole science to that stuff, man.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, just the nutrition part alone, I tried to lose some weight because I have like a liver condition, and just learning all the things that go into nutrition and how nutrition plays probably, I don't know what the actual percentage is, but I mean nutrition is everything. Working out and activities and whatever, it has a very small effect on actual weight loss. It's all about nutrition. So yeah, it's crazy how much we know nowadays compared to a generation ago. Um,
How much common sense we have compared
yeah,
to
yeah. I mean,
compared to a newer generation.
totally. Okay, so I got a couple of more questions. I kind of know I totally know the answer to this one. So I'll say, what is your second favorite book?
Okay, the Bible's my favorite. So there's one, I'm sure you're familiar with Jeffrey McDonald, the McDonald murders and all that stuff. Did you know
No.
about? He was a Green Beret, killed his family on Fort Bragg, uh, and tried to frame it like the Manson murders. He
Huh.
ended up, because the Army Military Police had really botched the investigation real bad. He got off. He ended up eventually getting convicted, but he moved out to California and became a doctor in California. It's called Fatal Vision. So I read that book, and that, man, that's a page turner. It really is. But to think it wasn't long after the Manson murders when all this took place, and you could see where everything had been. I mean, it was obvious he had staged everything, but he had killed his family, and he was a military doctor. And at 544 Castle Drive was actually the place that he did it. And uh, my parents weren't living at Fort Bragg at the time. That's how we ended up here. My dad was military, but yeah, it's it's pretty wild.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, so if you find it, read it, because it's one that'll keep you engrossed. If you like, I mean, you said your wife likes the ID discovery stuff, so I mean, it's one that'll keep your attention.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I've been trying to read more nowadays. When we were living in New York, I took the subway to work and back. It was a hour commute each way. Had nothing to do but read. So I miss it. I miss being able to read and whatnot. So I've been trying to, put a little block of time every night so that I can read some books. And I definitely take time out of the day to read the Bible. But yeah, normal, regular books, I miss reading. So yeah, thanks. I'm gonna check that out for sure. Um, I guess this is the last one. Are you an early riser or a night owl?
I am a night owl, because 30 years of working nights. And even when I first started working in a factory, it was 3 to 11. So I get off. This was when we had 3 shift operations. I worked mid shift, felt great. But once you start getting a family, it's not good for the family. So after my wife and I got married and she got pregnant and we had our son, I went to nights. Um, just so I could be around for, school programs and different things like that.
Oh, cool.
And because of that, uh, my system is still getting adjusted to being up during the day and sleeping at night. So I usually get up around 10, 10:30 sometimes, but I'll stay up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's just something that I've done for so long. It's just, if I have to get up early, I'll try to make myself go to bed early. But it's something about my internal clock. It doesn't want to wind down till about 2 o'clock in the morning or so.
Wow, that's so interesting. Yeah, it makes sense that you'd be a night owl. Like 40 plus years, or how long of that was the night shift?
30 years, 30
30
years of the
years.
30 of the 41.
Wow. Yeah, I think you were talking to Zach, right, about that just recently in our
Yeah,
WhatsApp.
yeah. Zach works nights. So yeah, I like nights because all the chiefs were gone,
Yeah.
because if you work during the day, you always got somebody second guessing what you're doing and this, that, or you need to do this or you need to do that. I wanted to run my own business. I didn't want nobody telling me how to run my business. So, and I had a way I ran my thing. So, they spurred the moment. Hey, do this, do this, do this. And if you sit back and think about it, because they used to come visit us every once in a while. I guess they're going to show night shift how to run things. And you need to do this, this, this. I said, hold on, guys. Let's back up a minute. Let's take a look at it and see what the best option is. So that's, you don't make snap decisions. You make snap decisions, you make snap disasters. So, and that's why I liked it nights, because I could do it the way I thought it should be done. Even though I'd be questioned about it sometimes at 4 or 5 in the morning, but and not to toot my own horn, but I was successful at what I did. So we always had a good team. I was blessed. I had some good guys. Always had good people to work with.
That's
So,
awesome.
and I give all credit to them. It wasn't me. I was just a coach. They're the ones that were out on the floor playing. So it wasn't. I was just coaching. So
Well, awesome, man. Yeah, I just love the whole being able to hear somebody's story, and especially somebody that's experienced as much as you have, and to be able to, like, kind of put it on the table and say that they've had a blessed life. I can kind of do that too, where um I can look back at the things that I've accomplished or the things that I've experienced and whatnot. And overall, there's always going to be good and bad, but when you tally it all up, I'm definitely blessed. So it's good to connect with people that also not just lived blessed lives, but acknowledge it, and they know that they've lived a blessed life, and that they're um for us, somebody's looking down on us and
amen.
watching out for us. And then for the people that don't believe, um, just being able to appreciate that where they are in life, because it could definitely be a lot worse.
Well, hopefully by somebody seeing this, maybe a seed will get planted too. So it's
Yeah, that's the
always
whole thing.
always an opportunity.
Yes, yes. That's what I was talking about with Eric as well. As his channel is so awesome because it is very centered around his faith. And I think he was saying something about how someone influenced him uh, to strengthen his faith, and he wants to do the same. so that by, putting it out there on his channel, hopefully somebody's watching and plants a seed in them as well. So yeah, I mean, that's just like kind of the circle of life, I guess. It's just being able to um sort of pay it forward, I guess, like
Yeah.
you know that you're blessed, you want that for other people as well.
Right. Right.
So yeah, man, I mean, this has been an amazing conversation. Is there anything that you'd like to add or say or anything at all?
No, I just appreciate being able to do this, man. So you got my number. We can keep in touch. So just drop me a text or shoot me a call or something. Something. If you want to do this again, I'm more than happy to do this.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely will. I it might be what is it, a can of worms, because once you open that box, I'm going to be asking you probably pretty frequently, when are you going to come up to Philly and visit?
Okay. Okay.
Because we our family is very open and welcoming, and we love people to come out here, because it's just us. We're, both of our families are back in Los Angeles. Actually, Colleen's mom, my mother-in-law, moved out here because she was done with California. So she lives actually across the street. Um, but other than that, everybody else is back in LA. So we love when people come and visit. We got a spare room in the basement, and our basement is not like uh a cave. We actually like have a really nice basement,
Oh
and
yeah, I could see.
so yeah, we just love having people over. We had Steve Delamar come one time. He's a pilot, so he's just like flying all over the place. He flew into Philly. He's like, hey, I'm in town. So he came, and I interviewed him. He did a cover on the drum set and whatnot. So yeah, it was pretty cool to do that, and just know that the whole back and forth, I'm gonna be asking, I'm gonna be bugging you to come up here. So you and your wife are welcome whenever you want to come to Philly.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah, and
If you get down to the south, you get down south of Philly, and you get to North Carolina, we got you.
like you and Eric, you guys are within driving distance. I mean, I was telling Eric actually when I was talking to him that I might have to make a work trip to Attic Custom Drums. So maybe I'll do that, and I'll drive over to you, and we can all hang out.
Sounds good.
Cool,
Yeah,
man.
Eric's up in the mountains, so he's a little further away than I am. So yeah, so it'd probably be about a halfway deal for both of us that way. Because it probably take you about 8 or 10 hours to get to Fayetteville.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's actually a really wide state then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
realize
because yeah,
how wide it
I'm
is.
closer to the ocean side, so I think Eric's up in the mountains, so he's probably more toward the western side of the state. So it's pretty good distance across the state width wise. But yeah, we're right close to the ocean.
Cool.
Not
Yeah, I've heard good things about Carolina coast.
oh yeah. So I love the beach. I'm not much of a water person anymore, but I mean just especially off season. I love beach off season because it's quiet. I mean it's just relaxing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I mean, my wife and I we like to travel a lot, so we'll definitely we'll pin it on the map when we'll get down there. But yeah, anyone that's watching this, again, if you haven't checked out Tom's channel, please go check it out. I'll put a link in the description. He's got a great channel over there. It's all fun. I can tell you always have fun on your covers. That's like the best part of anybody's covers, is to make sure that they're having fun and just enjoying it. It's infectious. And Tom is all about, I can just tell that you're having fun. You're playing the songs. I mean, most of your covers are close to like note for note, right?
I try. I mean I try to. That's the way I learn. So I'm not going to say I'm we we all know who the individual is, saying that drum cover has to be exact. And, dude, even the original artist, they don't play it exact when they go out and play it live. So come on, man.
Right. Yes, that's right.
So it's yeah. So I try to play them close. Yeah, as best I can.
Cool.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, the covers that I've seen, I know that you're having fun, and yeah, it's so weird how those kinds of emotions bleed through the screen. But in any case, yeah, guys, go check out Tom's channel. Tom, thank you for coming out and doing this with me. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
yeah, man, I appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to Kelly's channel, do it.
Thanks, man.
Stuff.
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I put out a new video. Also, check out my website, www.KMKanDrum.com, KMKanDrum.com. And if you really, really want, head on over to my Patreon, link in the description. I've got a ton of benefits for anyone who becomes a patron, a lot of cool extra content that you can't find here on YouTube. And also, check out these cool videos that I've done in the past, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.